Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Shakti's Gift. I'm your host, Marigol Era, Ayurvedic Wellness Coach, creative force, and unschooling mother. For the past 4 years, I've been living my daily life according to Ayurvedic principles. Ayurveda, which means the science of life in Sanskrit, is a traditional systems of medicine with roots in ancient India. It emphasizes a holistic approach to health by balancing the body, mind, and soul. It utilizes natural remedy, dietary guidelines, and lifestyle practices to promote well being and prevent illness. I just want to be real clear with you guys. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychologist, but I am very passionate about this human experience and I'm all about being as sovereign as possible in our health. In this podcast, we will not only talk about Ayurveda, we will also meet a lot of wonderful people who are driven by the Shakti's gift of creativity, transformational force, and feminine power. So you'll be in contact with a lot of amazing beings who are doing the work, they show up, even if it's freaking hard, and they evolve. Because that's what we do. Our human life is ever changing. It is our nature to birth and bury new ideas and projects and to follow the seasons of our lives. So I invite you to grab yourself something to drink, get yourself comfortable, and let's dive deep into Shakti's gift. Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to the new version of my podcast, Shakti's Gift. I hope you enjoyed the launch party yesterday. And no worries if you missed it. You can always check it out on all the platforms, but I do recommend you to watch it on YouTube to see the performance from Gnosis Music Project and also the new trailer of the show, which have some very great visuals. So, yeah, go take a look at that. We had so much fun. And I'm so sorry you missed it. And if you were there, thank you so much for being there. It was amazing. Thank you for your support. It was so great to see you all. So I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I'm starting this new part of my journey with a solo episode because my vision implies much more of those. In this episode, I'll be telling you about my love story with Ayurveda and how I got to learn how to care for myself with the feminine form of Ayurveda. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about the purpose of this podcast as well. All right, so let's dive right into it. 4 years ago, I was living in Quebec City, one of the oldest cities in Canada, and I was really into yoga. I was going to this yoga studio really close to my apartment, like pretty much every day, and even twice a day sometimes. I was enjoying yoga so much that I actually started to study to become a yoga teacher at this studio of mine. As some of you may know, we're living an unschooling lifestyle here, and I'm a person who really loves being in the flow and who loves her freedom. So that yoga training was very school like and a lot in the mind. And I don't know, I just thought that this training will be like me understanding how to be in my body more. So I realized really quickly that this wasn't the right place for me. So I decided to stop that training, and at that time, I was also listening to this podcast called The Gee Spot, hosted by Katie Silcox. She was talking about like feminine energy and Ayurveda, which is like a sister to yoga, and spirituality and all kinds of good stuff. And I resonated a lot with her words and the way she was talking and what she was saying. And the more I was listening to her episode, the more I felt drawn to her teachings, and that's why I decided to enroll in her Ayurveda program, the Shakti school. It was more around like being in the flow and being in that feminine energy, but it was still like related to yoga and Eastern practices. So I entered this 1 year program with a very, very personal intention to just get to know my body better, my health, and my feminine energy, how to deal with my feminine energy. I was very curious about that. And also, I felt like I needed to be more sovereign with my health because I didn't really trust the medical system at that point. I felt like they were missing a piece of the puzzle, and that's really what made me fall in love with Ayurveda. It's the fact that it takes everything into consideration. So if you go see an Ayurvedic practitioner for your health or your well-being, like they won't specifically look at the physical symptoms. They will also check all the other component of your life. So your job, your relationship, where you live, what do you eat, how you sleep, etc. They're just gonna go over all of that because everything is actually affecting your health, you know? So it was fascinating for me to learn a modality that is treating physical symptoms while incorporating all the other component of your life. So yeah, so I was very, very devoted to her program and I've learned so much with her and all the other amazing teacher that were in this school. I learned about doshas and Eastern philosophy and women's health. I also learned different ways to cook and to meditate and to embody my human life. And then the pandemic happened. And as you all know, it was a very stressful time for most of us. And I have to say that my Ayurvedic knowledge helped me so much to navigate all of that stress. So I started to incorporate a lot of Ayurvedic daily practices, which we call dinacharya. And I also started to do those amazing Ayurvedic cleanses twice a year to help my body eliminate piled up toxins, which we call amas. And the way I meditated and moved my body changed a lot at this point in my life. We're now 4 years later, and I have to say that I know my body better than before. I embody my femininity so much more, and I just love living my life according to Ayurvedic principle. I do want to be clear here. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychologist. I am certified as a wellness coach, as an Ayurvedic wellness coach. So I can actually help you build better habits in your life for you to feel better. And I'm very passionate about this human experience and the body, mind, soul connection. I love how these three interact with each other and how these interactions are actually creating your experiences, your lives, and your whole realities. That's why I actually wanted to share more about what I know around Ayurveda and self-care and spirituality and healing in this newest version of this podcast. So I'm here to help you awaken your inner healer, that part of you that doesn't need to be healed, that part that is already perfect as is. You can call this part your true self, your inner core, your inner guru. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but what really matters actually is that we all have this somewhere inside of us. When we're in touch with our inner healer, or whatever you want to call it, all the pain and suffering that we encounter, like it's not going to go away, but it actually becomes our teacher. And as I always say, every experience we encounter is there to help us understand something, or is there to help us learn something new, or to go even deeper in the learning that we're already doing at the moment. To end this first episode, I want to focus on being grateful. When I'm in touch with my inner guru, acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspect of my life, my experiences, or any circumstances, it just gets easier. I don't know if you know that, but gratitude can actually enhance your overall sense of contentment and it can actually foster positive emotions. Gratitude also involves like feeling a sense of connection and appreciation for the people around you, the opportunity that you get to have in your life or moment that contribute to your well-being and happiness. So I invite you to connect yourself to a deep sense of thankfulness and a recognition of the goodness that exists in your life right now. You can put your hands on your heart and take a deep breath and just let what you're grateful for come to you. Personally, I'm grateful for the freedom that I have to create my life. I'm so grateful for my devoted husband who's always there for me and for my wonderful kids that I get to see growing every day. I'm grateful for this podcast and the opportunities that it gives me to meet all kinds of amazing, inspiring beings I'm so grateful for my precious friend, the one who's been there with me for 23 years and never let me down. I'm so grateful for Mother Nature and all her elements that are always there to support us, to provide for us. And I'm also very curious about you. What are you grateful for? Please let me know in the comment section. And if you have any questions about Ayurveda, you can also drop them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on social media at Marigol Era. And all my links are listed in the description down below. I want to thank you for being here with me. And since I'm launching this new version, I'll be publishing a great interview that I did with my friend Mayher tomorrow. So in this episode, we'll be talking about Akashic reading, or how she calls it, the Book of Life, and numerology, which is her specialty. So yeah, check it out tomorrow. I'll be dropping it everywhere. And next week, I'll be back with a more normal schedule, which will be a solo episode every Wednesday and an interview every Friday. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.